What is mammon? It says you cannot serve God and mammon. So what is mammon? Okay, are you ready for this? It's not money, but that's what everybody thinks. As a matter of fact, there are some dynamic translations. There are exact equivalency translations, which are word for word, which is what I use. And there are dynamic, which are thought for thought, and they're good to read, and I read them. And then there are paraphrase. Some say money. You cannot serve God and money. The only problem is that's not the word Jesus uses. He uses the word mammon, and it doesn't mean money. So what is mammon? It actually means riches, but it is an Aramaic word, and it comes from the Syrian god of riches. He is actually referring to a spirit when he talks about this. You cannot serve the spirit, this false deity. You can't serve this demon, this principality, and serve God. And think about this. He puts the word unrighteous in front of it. Well, money's not unrighteous. We're going to talk about that in point 2. So I'm not going to surprise yet, so I'll wait till point 2 to get to that, all right? But here's the point. Here's what he's saying. He puts the word unrighteous in front of it because the spirit is unrighteous. So he says you can't serve unrighteous. Don't watch out for the unrighteous spirit of mammon. So mammon, the reason he's using this word is he's speaking to Jewish people who were enslaved to Babylon for, anyone remember how long? 70 years. You get a star, gold star. All right, Thomas, you get a gold star. Okay, 70 years. So they knew what he was talking about. This spirit of Mammon was one of the top 8 spirits of Babylon, the top 8 deities that they worshiped. And the number one, which many historians say, the number one that they worshiped was the god of riches. As a matter of fact, some people, now this is horrible, but no birth control back then, as their families would get larger and they didn't want to take care of more children, they sacrificed their children to the god of Mammon so that they would be blessed financially. This is why Jesus uses this word. It doesn't mean money. He's referring to a spirit. Please hear me. All money has a spirit on it. Listen carefully. The money in your bank account has a spirit on it. It either has the spirit of God on it or it has the spirit of mammon on it. The way you get the spirit of God on it, and we went through the whole thing last week, is you give the first 10% of it back to God, and the other 90% is redeemed. It's redeemed out from under the spirit of this world, which is the spirit of Mammon. So Mammon is this Syrian god that Babylon, they worship this god. As a matter of fact, you can look up images of the spirit of Mammon. I looked up just to show you a few, all right? Let me just show you 4. Look at this image. Here's an image of the spirit of Mammon. Notice how she's worshiping this deity of riches. Here's another one. This is just look at the internet. Notice how this is a couple, like a married couple. He's got his hand on her head, and he's got his foot on his back. He's holding this couple in bondage to riches and wealth. Here's another picture that you can find. Looks kind of like some of the cartoon characters that our children watch sometimes, doesn't, unfortunately. So, but that's one, and then here's the last one. This comes from Egypt, by the way. Egypt had over 2,000 gods that they worshiped, 29 major gods that they worshiped, all right? And one was it was called a different word, but it was riches, okay? So this has been going on for thousands of years. People have been worshiping this spirit. I told you that it was the main spirit they worshiped in Babylon. Let me just help you. Again, I love words, okay? So if you want to know what the word Babylon means, just slow down the pronunciation of it. Babel-on. You ever known anyone who babbles on? Don't look at anyone right now. She or he may babble on the whole way home to you about it, all right? Okay, so don't look at anyone, all right? So babble means confusion. As a matter of fact, in Genesis 11, there was a tower of, and what did God do? Came down and confused them. Just read it yourself, Genesis 11. So when you put the O-N on the end of Babylon, the city, it means sown, like you plant something. So the Babylon actually means sown in confusion. You want to see confusion, look at our economic system. Study the mortgage meltdown in 2007, 8, and 9, how they had AAA rated loans, AA, B loans, double B, triple B, and boom, it all exploded. And 8 million people lost their jobs and 6 million lost their homes. And by the way, do you know who came up with those loans? Wall Street and the federal government. You talk about a spirit. Listen, I had no reason to preach this, especially to Gateway Church, because you're the best givers I know, except to help those of you who don't know this. There is a war going on, and that war is, whom are you going to serve? And Jesus said, you cannot serve God and Mammon. You can't do it.